Welcome into Boxing Scene Today. I'm stuffed. Are you stuffed, Paulie? That's right. He's been feasting last Saturday on great fights. But what do we need? We need leftovers. Little leftovers. Need a little bit. That's right. Yesterday, we talked all about Benavidez versus Yard. We talked about the return of Devin Haney against Brian Norman Jr., but that card last Saturday in Saudi Arabia, full of great fights. We continue with this one guy, Abdullah Mason, who's turning a lot of heads. Jimmy Smith in studio alongside the champ, Paulie Malignaggi, Chris Algieri, joining us via Zoom. Paulie, you ended our last show with it. Abdullah Mason was the highlight of the night. And what I love about this against Sam Noakes, the criticism I heard the next day was just as funny. Well, he gets hit a lot, man. He gets hit a lot. You know, he has some defensive liabilities. Guys, my whole fight life, there were two fighters who had really good offenses who were hard to hit. A prime Mike Tyson was very hard to hit, even though he had a great offense. And the other one who had a great offense but defensively very, very sound was Roy Jones Jr. His speed just made him hard to hit. You can't be offensive and exciting and entertaining and not hittable. It's like we're asking a lot of what is now the youngest champion in boxing. What do you think?
I was super impressed. Yeah, I'll jump on that conversation as well.
I heard that. Did you not hear that a lot?
It was on my own channel, on Paulie TV. I was very praiseworthy. I was very praiseful. Was that? Champ? What's the word? Praise?
You were full of praise.
Thanks, Jimmy.
No problem.
Full of praise.
Right.
I was full of praise for Abdullah Mason, and some of the comments I was getting were, well, how could you be so impressed? He was getting hit so much. Dude, I was impressed that he made it exciting. Yeah. The fact that he's got hit a lot, I get it. He's 21 years old. He can fix that, bro. You know, I get it. Yeah. You're going to tell me, who had a long boxing career, that if you get hit too much, your career is going to be short? I know. Thanks, Einstein. I think I understand that, too. The thing is, he was impressive because he went to battle for his first world championship. He went to earn his first world championship. The right way. He had a really gutsy guy, tough guy in front of him. And you know what, bro? If anybody who had seen Sam Noakes fighting before that already knew this was not going to be a gimme. You knew that Abdullah Mason was going to have to work for it. And if he was not the truth, he would have been exposed against a guy like Sam Noakes. This was not your gimme vacant world title fight that some guys have gotten, that I've seen in my own eyes, some guys get for their first world championship, especially, where it's like, oh, we're going to anoint this guy's a star. Let's throw him in with tomato can for a vacant title first. No. This was battle against battle, undefeated against undefeated, and both guys had earned their place in this fight, in this spot, and that's why the fight was also so good, because both guys were trying to, excel to that next level. Again, what I always say, guys got to fight when they're hungry and when their goals are still in front of them. But yet they have to be themselves world class, because when they themselves are world class and then their goals are in front of them, it adds an extra level of savagery to their world class skills, because they want to accomplish. They still have not accomplished everything yet. And these guys are still young in their career. Obviously, Noakes is a little older, but he's still in his 20s. And Abdullah Mason, very, very young, being anointed as a star and all that. He has a lot to live up to. Yeah. Okay, we can talk about what he needs to fix later. I think he and his father know that too, because his father was getting on his case in the corner, where you're making this a lot harder than you need to and all this other stuff. So I'm sure there's a lot of things they're going to work on in the corner, in the gym as well. But it's what you want to see. It's what you want to see. A young kid earning his world championship the way you're supposed to. Showing guts, showing class, showing character, showing a backbone, and showing all the skills that we've come to love of this kid. You know what? I'd say, yeah, if he fights like this continuously, yeah, okay, he's not going to last long. I think he's going to get better. I think this only makes you better.
This idea.
And also, Noakes. I want to see Noakes again.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Noakes, I'm sure everybody will agree with you. Noakes is still a player in the lightweight division.
Yeah, very, very true. But this was a fight on two judges' scorecards, Chris. Had it one round. If one round had gone either way, we would have had a majority draw in this fight. It was close on the cards. I didn't think it was that close, but to Paulie's point, a close, tough, entertaining war between two guys who wanted to be there.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that close. I thought that Abdullah Mason handled Noakes quite well.
I don't want to cut you off 1 second, Jim. I'll cut you off 1 second. We are on this, as we get older, we kind of realize that when a judge doesn't know how to watch a fight, because there's a lot of judges that don't know how to actually judge. When they don't know how to judge a fight, they just give it to the guy coming forward. So I think Noakes was given credit maybe for some rounds just because he was coming forward.
Was it a Florida judge, Paulie?
No, Florida's notorious for that, I'll say. But I will say in general, I'm noticing like that trend where, like, if I don't know, I have because they give jobs to judges who shouldn't be judging ant races or centipede races, let alone fights. But so sometimes I think these kind of people just look at who's coming forward. So I think that's why Noakes got a little bit extra credit. I had it 8-4 personally, so I think it was more 7-5, 8-4 than 7-5, 6-6. You know,
Chris, what's your thought on that performance, man?
I thought Abdullah Mason looked great. It was a real coming out party, and it was an anointing. I think he's getting his first world title, doing it against a very, very tough guy. I want to see Sam Noakes again as well, and I think he might actually be a world champion one day. I was very impressed with him. He's very, very strong, very, very durable, super tough. Hopefully he didn't get that beaten out of him on Saturday night, because that was a grueling fight. I mean, he was getting hurt, head, body, bleeding from the face. And Abdullah Mason, as much as he was getting stung with shots, he did get hurt to the body real bad, which he came right back from. He did get rung a few times up top. It just looked like, for me, he wasn't deterred at all by that. When he got stung, when he got hurt, he was like, I'm okay with this. I've been here in the gym. I'm winning this fight. There's nothing this man can do to keep me from being a world champion tonight. That was super impressive to see from a young fighter who's never been in that situation.
Not only that, he'd never been past 6 rounds in his career.
No, I know.
So,
and he poured it on late.
Yeah.
He poured it on late.
So
the kid always wants to go for the knockout. You see that. He went for it early. He almost got it early.
Yeah.
Third round, he almost scored a knockout. And then he gets hurt later himself, but then comes back in the last couple rounds trying to close the show. But he's a showman. He's absolutely a showman.
He got hurt with a body shot early. The body shot that hurt him was like in round 3 or 4. So in my mind, when you got hurt with that body shot, you got to remember a body shot around 3 or 4. You've never been past 6. The finish line, I'm telling you, seems like a lot further away when you're getting hurt to the body in the early rounds, because now you're like, oh man, it is further away. But now it seems like it's an eternity away. And for a kid, and that's if you had experience, let alone if you don't have the experience. The kid had never been past 6 rounds, gets hurt to the body early. Like you said, champ, didn't deter him, remained unfazed with his mentality. As a matter of fact, his father was trying to hold the horses back. He's like, yo, you're making this harder than it needs to. Relax. Yeah. Box smart. Champ, and he was still looking to run, like a thoroughbred. You know what I mean? Like he was still looking to run.
This is where I'm going to push back on what you're saying about him and the negative comments saying about him getting hit too much. I agree, guys. He got hit too much. And guarantee you, and I said this that night. I'm like, I wasn't listening to the corner because it was just too loud where I was. But I was like, I don't think his team is happy with how much he's getting hit either. So the criticisms are real, and they should be there because he did get hit too much. And I'm sure again, they're going to go back to the gym and they're going to work on that. If he consistently fights this way, it's not good. But he's 21 years old. He had a statement to be made. Statement was made. Now they go back and they work on some things and they go back to the drawing board and they go out there and be that guy that he can be, which is absolutely a superstar face of boxing type, virtuoso, boxer, puncher, counter puncher with offense and defense and plus minus, because those are the guys, the best fighters in the world, the pound for pound guys, always have the best defense. If he can make those adjustments and bring that defensive quality back to that while still being able to score knockouts, then we're looking at what I think a lot of people look at this kid as being, which is a superstar.
I think if he doesn't change, the guy you can compare him to, which is not necessarily bad, but it's a cautionary tale for slow.
I know where you're going.
Ending careers. He's basically a southpaw Meldrick Taylor, because I'm not sure he hits as hard as he was early on. But Meldrick was also getting a lot of knockouts early on because he was just overwhelming guys and beating the crap
super
out of them
fast,
and stopping them. Yes, he stopped Buddy McGirt in first world title in like his first 15 fights. So it was Meldrick was soaring and getting a lot of stoppages early because he was so overwhelming. And I think Abdullah reminds me of that kind of thing too. And I'm not necessarily sure the stoppages will be at such consistency at a high level, because you can see Noakes was taking it even though he was getting hurt. But you put yourself in a position where you're chasing a stoppage so much that you're getting yourself hit. You become exciting. And Meldrick Taylor is one of my favorite fighters ever. But it also his career is a cautionary tale. And I don't think it's necessarily the worst thing in the world to get compared to Meldrick Taylor. But I think you also
the
want
potential,
to take...
the potential of Meldrick was not reached. I think that's what people maybe at home might not be understanding, because Meldrick was so good.
He was supposed to be Sugar Ray, and
right.
If you weren't there, you don't remember that. Yeah.
Right, and granted, he was a 2-division world champion. He had great fights. He made a lot of money. He's.
But he was done by his mid-20s. He was done.
But guys like you and me look up to him. But his potential was not fully reached because he got hit too much early.
Also on the card, if there was somebody who had a performance who went, making this look easy was Bam Rodriguez. That was an incredible performance he had last Saturday in Saudi Arabia. Fluid, accurate, had power, got the knockout, showed everything you want to see in another guy who's on the pound-for-pound list and perhaps another burgeoning star or there right now.
He's like a well-oiled machine.
Yes.
He's so destructive, savage, yet so calculated in his approach and in the way he does things. He's got crazy shot selection, punch selection, but then he creates the openings all while keeping you constantly in a confused state. This kid, he was fighting Martinez. He was trying, but you know the shots you're getting hit with, he doesn't know which way. Martinez didn't know which way to slip and slide away from him. He kept fighting, and Martinez was known as a tough guy. Okay, if you've seen this kid fight before, he's known as a tough guy. But you can't come with that kind of fight approach, that fighting tough guy approach. It's basically coming with a pistol and the other kid's got an Uzi. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, eventually you can't beat into a shootout. You got to take a different approach if you're gonna win with the pistol. You can still win with the pistol, but if you go head on, the Uzi's got more bullets and it fires better and all this other stuff. So ultimately, you know, I think it was a situation where Bam's class showed, Bam's savagery showed, Bam's world-class ability showed, and another stoppage. He's stopping guys who are not only tough to stop, but, you know, hungry, determined guys, too. He's breaking their will on top of beating them.
And on the way there, Chris, and I've got to give a shout out to Coach Garcia. He's taking them apart and then knocking them out. Where, like, yeah, he's knocking them out, but he didn't have to by that point in the fight. Yeah. Well ahead on the scorecards. This is a kid, Mexican, hungry. He's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to take you out too. There was some trash talk before the fight. I think he took that a little personally. Took the Michael Jordan route. What do you think of that performance, Chris? It was great.
Champ, you said he's like a well-oiled machine. I think he's like AI. He's collecting.
Don't give me that. I'm
data.
not a fan of AI.
Yeah, well, guess what? It's going to take over, and so is Bam. The way he,
I guess he's like AI then.
Yep.
Yeah, the way he figures guys out is crazy. He's collecting data. Listen, I had him losing the first round. Martinez is tough. He came out swinging. It looked like he actually rocked him. That could have been scored a knockdown in the first round.
Yeah, his glove did touch the ground. Yep.
He got hit with a left hook and his glove touched, and then he held. You know, so you could have scored that a knockdown, but after that, it was all Bam. He's just so analytical. The way he's calculating where the punches go, the way his offense and defense is seamlessly landing and missing. I mean, the last sequence, he's on this ridiculous defensive run: slip, slide, step, boom, boom, grab, spin, boom, boom, pull, counter, right hand, left hand down, dead, done, fight over. I mean, the kid is, and he's doing it with a smile on his face. He's just otherworldly good, and his ability to just stay completely focused and set things up and look for openings in advance. He's playing high-level chess. It's 4D chess for this kid. He is so far ahead of all of his contemporaries. This was supposed to be a tough fight. This wasn't tough at all. This was a completely one-sided drubbing. It looked like he was sparring an amateur. That's how good this kid is. It's scary.
You gave that movie. You threw in the movie line a little bit, Champ. I don't know if you realized that it was like Martinez was sort of like Will Ferrell in Wedding Crashers. He's punching, he's attacking, he's throwing, he's fighting. Oh, I'm dead. You know, that's it.
Exactly.
In the last round. In the last round, you know.
But this 20.
I don't know how you pulled that out of Africa.
But whatever. 25 years old, guys. This is a guy who's right in his physical prime, doing his best work. And when I'm seeing, you know, the criticism of Abdullah Mason, yeah, it was a bad round number one, I guess, kind of. After that, defensively sound. Chris talked about slipping punches right into the knockout. He's hard to hit. The ceiling for him, for Ben Rodriguez?
I mean, it's endless. You know, we're just sitting there. We're just the audience watching to see where it winds up. You know, watching this movie like career going.
It's pound for pound number one. That's the only end game for this kid. Pound for pound number one.
But you know, I don't know what weight classes he goes up to. Maybe there's a rivalry with Nakatani and Inoue later on. Who knows? You know, we'll see. It's a lot of possibilities. But yeah, even in the first round with the possible knockdown, another movie line, guys. I'm sorry to break it to you. I got another movie line. It's like, he's getting hurt. Nah, he's not getting hurt. He's getting mad. After that, it was Rocky 3.
Right, exactly.
He's not getting hurt. He's getting mad. After that, it was all Bam.
When you look at this card, what we saw is a very healthy boxing landscape. Benavidez, Haney are right in their primes. They're going to be around for a while. We may have seen the present/future with Bam. Abdullah Mason is going to be a factor for maybe the next decade. You know, Paulie, it's hard to look at last Saturday, this Riyadh card, and not go, man, boxing's going to be all right for a while. Because I saw 4 victories, 4 boxers that I want to see for a long time. Yes?
I loved it, man.
Yeah.
I loved it. I'll tell you, we go back and forth here, okay, with Turkey and whatnot, and we're not anti-Turkey, but we're just not always. We don't have pom poms out. When there's things to praise, we praise. When there's things to criticize, we criticize. We're a talk show. That's how it works out here in the West. But I think with cards like this, and we at Pro Box TV are like the next level below, but we make just as competitive a cards.
Right.
So I think you have these highest level Riyadh season shows, and then our level, which is just below that, which could be a feeder into the Riyadh season shows in some ways. I think it's so, in that way, when I think about boxing, it's really, really healthy because you got great fights even just at the cusp, and then you got great fights at the world class level. I mean, you can sort of see the feeding ground going in, and then the great matchups happening there too. I love it. I mean, I was super, super entertained.
Abdullah Mason, Bam Rodriguez. To you, Chris, who had the more impressive performance?
Oh, that's a tough question.
It
Jimmy.
is.
For me.
Yeah.
I'm impressed with both guys. Obviously, that's the easy answer. But for me, it's Bam, because I think Martinez was on paper presented a tough fight, and he just showed his class. Like we say that about Pro Box TV, right? We make 50-50 matchups at a certain level, but then we see guys who just blow these guys out, and it's like, all right, you're special. You're ready for the next level. Bam just doesn't seem to have a ceiling. And every time he's supposed to be tested, he blows these guys out and he dominates them and stops them. He stops them. He's stopping undefeated world champions that are supposed to give him trouble, and they don't. So it's hard not to be impressed with Bam, especially when you know what you're looking at and you see how good he is. Like I said, he's playing with guys. It's crazy. I'm impressed with Abdullah Mason because of his grit, which we didn't know if he really had that, and he showed it against a world-class guy. Sam Noakes is very, very good. That was a really amazing performance for a 21-year-old. And I was going to go with Abdullah because he is 21, but what's Bam? 25? So it's like,
they could have gone to high school together, right? Yeah,
exactly. Like he's just. It's so hard to go against Bam. One point though about the card, Jimmy, that you didn't bring up. You mentioned all these great guys. Guess what? They're all American.
Yeah.
We're talking about American fighters. American boxing
The West
has been in kind of a rut. We don't have the superstar. We don't have the star guy right now. It looks like we have a good talent-rich pool to choose from. There's a lot of good all-American fights that we can make. Not in heavyweight, obviously, but the rest of these divisions, top to bottom, this card had a lot of American talent.
This one may be a little bit of a controversial take. And
from you,
and this
really?
and this
I don't believe it.
And this piece may need to be edited out of the show, or it may stay in the show. I don't even know. But as far as what are you more impressed with? That's a difficult question. Abdullah and Bam were so impressive. That's like my answer is it depends on what you're in the mood for.
Yeah. Sometimes
it's one, sometimes it's the other.
Great to have you with us, Paulie. Your opinion, always fantastic. 3, 2, 1. It's a great card last Saturday. We'll continue with the leftovers this week on Boxing Scene Today. Anytime you need your boxing news, this is where you get it. Join us. Find out why millions are watching. Depends on which leftover you want.
Yeah.
Which leftovers.
They always say there's always room for Jell-O. I said there's always room for boxing.
There you go.